Managed Fellow, and it is truly a pleasure to welcome you all to the 257th weekly webinar of the Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. So before we begin today's session, let me quickly share a little journey about our center. So when we started this Saturday webinar series back in October 2020, it was just a small step to support young agripreneurs. So over time, it has grown into a national platform for learning and networking. In the last 256 weeks, we have conducted knowledge-rich sessions every single Saturday. Without a break, more than 54,000 participants from across India have joined us, and we had. So what begins as an idea has now become a community, bringing together people who are passionate about innovation, entrepreneurship, and the future of Indian agriculture. As Center of Excellence in Agri Incubation, CEA has mentored 1,066 entrepreneurs, supported 529 startups across the agri value chain, and helped them connect with the funding, market, and technology. But the real achievement is not in these numbers, it is in the impact on the people's lives, the new ideas that take shape, and the vision we share for a stronger agriculture ecosystem. At CEA, we see entrepreneurship is not just starting a business, but as building a vision that uplifts farmers, strengthens rural communities, encourages sustainable practices, and ensure food and nutrition security for all. We are running a series on waste to wealth with the spirit. Today's webinar focus on important and timely topic that is turning waste material into valuable products and resources. We are delighted to have eminent speakers with us today who will share their insights and experiences on how waste can be turned into wealth and opportunity. It is honor to introduce them shortly, and I'm confident that today's session will leave you with practical ideas and inspiration to take forward in your own entrepreneurial journey. Now let's start our session. To introduce our first speaker, let me invite Sonam, a managed intern.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sonam, and I am honored to welcome Mr. Akhil Raj Portikar, a climate tech entrepreneur and founder and CEO of Neox EcoCycle, a startup that transforms industrial pollutant into high-value, sustainable product. With over a decade of experience in pigment manufacturing and sustainable materials, he is leading innovation in marine net zero technologies and circular economy solutions. His work aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals and reflect his vision of turning waste into wealth and impact. He also modernized his family's pigment brand, New Eagle, and is now building a sustainable social impact campus in Kozhikode as a hub for climate action and innovation. With over 15 years of entrepreneurial experience, he continues to drive impactful solutions for greener future. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Akhil Raj. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So let me share the PPT. So today's topic, we are I'm actually presenting here the waste to wealth in agriculture. So we basically work on converting these climate liabilities into economic assets. So basically these air pollutants are climate liabilities, which is causing a longer impact onto the day-to-day lives of us and the people around. So basically today's topic is from waste to wealth, where pollution becomes a solution. And introducing my startup, like we are a pioneering climate tech startup, revolutionizing sustainability in industry and other sectors, where we develop technologies and solutions to convert economic liabilities into climate liabilities into economic assets, where we upcycle these pollutants into revenue. So this is a common thing which we do. Earth is what we all have in common. So we have to together put together work for making Earth a better place to live. And I would like to have an interactive session. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Fine, sir.
Yeah. What about the participants?
Yes, sir. They'll be answering.
Yeah. So, like, can you just contribute? What are the sources of air pollution? Dear participants.
Yeah, dear participants, kindly interact. What are the sources of air pollution? Kindly keep your answers in chat box.
Hi, Dr. Prashanti. Vehicle, yeah, biomass burning industries, agri waste burning, firewood for cooking when it comes to rural population. Yes, Dr. Shravanti, HFCs, CFCs, thermal power stations, wildfires. Wildfires are the result of climate change. So we'll just like I've just made it into like four major heads where it is like transportation contributes a majority to the air pollution in cities where like fossil fuels are being burned and cost the pollution caused by them. And the next is agriculture, which is actually for all the farm waste and residues and all those things. That's been a practice for a very long time in our sectors, like in the agricultural sectors, which is of a high value. And third comes the industries. Industries contribute majority to it, where like industries normally only tap the micro pollutants, where like we as a startup is envisioning to tap the nano pollutants also, so that the pollution levels and the lung disorders and respiratory disorders around the industries will be lesser. And so these are the hidden cost of agri waste burning, which is actually creating a lot of trouble for the community as such. Going through metrics, like around 150 million tons of crop residues burned annually in India, where air pollution cuts a life expectancy by 4 to 5 years for every one of us. After human interference in the direction of development in air pollution. So 1.7 million premature deaths is being reported annually in India by the WHO. So these are the reported deaths, 1.7 million premature deaths just due to air pollution. So there are much more deaths which are not reported, which can also be the reason of like the root cause can be uh, air pollution. And air pollution is actually creating an economic loss of 7.8 trillion, which is 3% of the Indian economy. Today it has gone to 7%. This is an old data. It has gone up to 7% due to the health issues, due to the economic thing. Like people having respiratory issues are not able to work more. Like even post COVID, we all are facing issues actually in working more. Like the lung capacity has gone drastically down. Similarly, like that, like this air pollution is causing the lung capacity go down on a drastical level. Are the pollution boards doing their jobs? It's we cannot just blame governments on actually going forward to do the pollution boards or something. That is where like the New eco cycle comes into place. When we ask the pollution boards to do all those things, they have their own limitations. So we as an industry, we as a pollution maker, the creator, we'll have to start working on it. Nobody else will do it. Government has their own limitations. Governments what government could do will be less of what the total requirement is. And there is a huge market opportunity when it comes to GHG saving and carbon. So this is an economic, as we as a startups, we as being an incubator, we have to contribute onto this. 1 ton of paddy straw can end up in bio CNG produced, around 2.5 tons of bio CNG produced, or 2.5 tons of CO2 equivalent through this. So that is a carbon credit. We can claim that carbon credits and create revenue out of it. 1 ton of biochar applied in soil locks away 3 tons of carbon equivalent for centuries. So biochar created in a plant rather than firing it in the field is a better option. If you fire it in a field, it has been combusted and it causes a lot of carbon dioxide. Rather, if it has been made in a pyrolysis unit or anything like that, the common person does not have any authority to stop. No, yes, you being a common person, you can stop it from your home. What you do in the evenings, like it has been like you clean your home, you fire up the leaves, or you fire up the waste, paper waste, or degradable other than plastic, you fire up everything in your homes. Even that is a contributor, 1% contributor to the air pollution. Stop from small steps. So when there is a festival, or when there is a marriage in your family, what is that you do with the waste? You burn it off, or you put it in an incinerator, which is end of the day it's burning. So start from small steps. Later, when you become an industrialist, when you become a startup, or when you become anything, you have that culture in your mind. Your younger generation is seeing what you're doing, so they learn from you. The commoner has a lot much more to do to it. To Rama, who has a question. And have you guys heard of climate clock? Climate clock is the most important. It's one of the most important numbers in the world. Participants, have you heard of this climate clock? The climate clock is ticking. It has reached 3 years. Which may actually, yeah, climate clock is something you can Google and see. That is actually a ticking clock, which is going down. It's a countdown timer, where by 20, like another 3 years, the atmosphere is going to increase its temperature by 1.5 degrees. That 1.5 degrees is going to make a drastic change. The glaciers are going to melt. Forest fires are going to increase. Air pollution is going to be drastically high. Your lung capacity can be less. A lot more. Now we have been facing cloudburst on a regular basis in India and like neighboring countries. So that is causing a lot of flood and damage to the humankind. This cloudburst is also a cause due to the climate change. The increasing weather, increasing temperature is actually increasing the water vapor evaporation, and that is creating cloudburst in certain areas. So we can only burn 285 billion, 511 million, and 640 tons of carbon more within the next 3 years. That is very less of what we are doing. So this is like what we are currently burning is like 10x more than what it is right now, what it is supposed to be right now. So we as like startups, like we are not commoners here. We are startup community, we are industrial community, we are researchers. I can find a lot of doctors in the list. Most of them, I assume that most of them are research personnel who are working in climate action, agriculture, and many more. So you guys can start researching on climate action topics where all your waste turns out to be valuables. And as per my knowledge, most of the research institutions, you guys do research just for PhD. Let's not do that. Let's do like PhDs or research to make the world count, or like for a change. Create technologies which can be transitional. India is the only country which doesn't have much of a transitional research. Almost you go to Singapore, you go to Europe, where every research is transitional. It ends up in China. Why China is growing drastically? Every research is transitional. It is converted into an industry. Now this government has been putting a lot of stress on to making it an industrial revolution. But as a researcher, whenever you do any kind of a research, do it in such a way that is transitional, that can be commercialized, that is commercially viable, or whatever the inputs you use for the thing, take it from real sources so that that can be of use for someone or the other. If you're not a businessman, if you're not a startup, you don't want to get into the world, you can collaborate with startups elsewhere. There are a lot of youth who's looking forward to actually explore these opportunities. So that is humble request to the research community out here and your peers whom you are known to. You can check this climate clock. It's available on Google. You can see 3 years, 319 days. That's alarming. That's alarming. You take it simple. What happens after it's just 1.5 degrees? That was what most of the people think. That 1.5 degree rise is going to change a drastic change in the environment. Even you see last 3 years, like that climate change has been evident. 10 years back, water purifiers was not a common thing. Like I'm not talking about cities when you take up the rurals. Now water purifier or an RO purifier is part of the homes. It's become a mandate. 10 years back, air conditioners was not a mandate. Now air conditioners is a mandate in most of the offices, homes, and even schools and all. Like you cannot survive with the temperature rise. So you cannot reverse these things. Only thing you have to start doing is like do something for the climate, do something for the climate change, contribute in a smaller levels. That is actually convert these waste rather than burning, rather than disposing it off to the nature. It has a huge value. It has a huge, immense potential to be converted to a revenue. So these are the gold mine in the agri waste. You take paddy or rice husk, it is converted to oil. Recently, these rice bran oils have been, and you can further research. You research community can further research that oils can be converted into resins, polymers, or any other products. And ash, that is rice husk ash, has been used in for studies in the cement industry. So it can replace clinker up to 30%. The clinker production is one of the largest producer of greenhouse gases. They contribute to the largest globally in the industrial landscape. So if you can create something of an advanced rice husk ash which can completely replace the clinker, that would be like a change. That is what like the community or the research community has to work on to. The startups, I'm talking about, like I'm just like addressing the startup community here. You guys can work on it. There is a lot of opportunity. Carbon residue, like from the firewood or the from the residue after the crops. You take like smaller things. You can convert them into activated carbon. Activated carbon has a huge, immense potential in the market. Fruit waste is being converted. There is a startup in Mumbai which is converting the tomato waste into artificial leather. There is another startup in Kerala who's converting the coconut water, the waste coconut water into leather substitutes. There is another startup in Kerala again who's converting this coconut water into jelly, which is being used in like all the drinks and all you take. There are fruit pieces you get out of it. That is the like jelly which is created by them. It's an innovation. It's a startup from Kannur which converted that into it. That doesn't have any taste. The proper property of that product is that absorbs the taste of the fruit juice which is present in that. So when you eat it, you feel like it's mango because it is not mango, it is coconut water, which absorbs the mango taste from the surrounding. So there are those are innovations. Like today's startups should work on innovations, like where there is a lot of funding, there is a lot of support as incubators like CI, and there is a lot of facilities available today. And people are always behind AI, software, or anything like that. We need products. We need products. If you want to do, if India needs to grow like China or the economy needs to grow, we need products, hard products, like nanotechnology or like anything. Like product startups has to come in. So it is not India is not just a hub for IT. India can also contribute to the products. And this is what we does as a startup. We convert into value-added products of high value and incentivize the polluter. So if a industry or a farmer is polluting, that can be incentivized if that becomes a raw material for a different industry. So it becomes a feedstock for an XYZ industry. Most of the pollution here is not pollution. It is mostly mismanaged waste. So you cannot call it a waste. Those are gold mines which has been mismanaged or which has been unattended. If you take it from the source, you from your homes, if your food waste has been segregated, your plastic has been segregated, and if you've been converted that into it, there is an opportunity. Mostly like people don't do that. So we as a citizens, we all should start doing from the scratch and be more sustainable. And like when you buy products, look for sustainable products, not the greenwash products. Look for the real sustainable products. Everything which is green is not sustainable. So these are like four UN Sustainable Development Goals, which is directly associated with the agri waste, where climate action, life on land, sustainable cities and communities. So agri waste, which has been burnt, is converting into cities like which has been carried away, like city like Delhi, Bangalore, and major city like almost like 5 cities globally. The five most polluted cities globally is in from India. That is not an achievement. That is shame for us. That is what is an alarming thing. We should start working on it. 5 of the world's most populated cities are from India, and that is not just because of the power plants or the vehicular traffic or anything like that. Agriculture waste residue has a lot of as an immense share in what it has been, because all these cities are surrounded by villages which has a lot of agricultural residue going, and these residues is being burnt after every crop. You check Bangalore, Chennai, like most of the cities, like for Delhi, it is like the Maratha region's industries, and the Punjab's agriculture is contributing to the Delhi smog. We just cut on to the vehicles and convert to EVs doesn't work. We'll have to start from zero. Like even for EVs, it require power. For hydrogen powered vehicles, hydrogen is required. India can be a power of house for hydrogen because when the agricultural residue is converted to hydrogen. This is one solution which we have created recently. We recovered industrial air pollutant and did a nano engineering and converted that to a nano additive, which has an anti-biofouling, anti-corrosive property, which is completely non-toxic for the marine environment for the shipping hull. This is the first of its kind innovation from the country, and that is what we are doing right now. We are partnered with the Cochin shipyard, and we are along jointly developing this product to be the India is currently importing 1,000 crore worth nano coatings and additives for the shipping industry. Open for questions and answers. I always take interactive sessions here, like speakers are only being unmuted. Why not the participants?
Sir, actually we'll have interaction session at last 15 minutes, sir, after the speaker session.
So this is a request to the community here, the researchers, startups, students. If you have an idea in mind, you wanted to make it in an impact, you want to create an impact for the society, for the world, you wanted to start a startup, you can reach out to us at any point of time. We are open to collaborations. We are looking forward. We are a community. We are a group of researchers based out of NIT Calicut, and we are working on different solutions. If like from your incubator or from any other incubators or research institutions or anybody from the research side has a tangible research outcome which wanted to be commercialized, which you wanted to make a change, we are open for it. Yeah, I'll share my contacts. So this is my contacts here. Both of my numbers are available on WhatsApp, and you can reach me out on LinkedIn as well. So this is like agri waste is a gold mine which can be converted into biofuel, bio thing. You can engineer into nano products. there is a lot of immense opportunity which we can convert it into value. So once it becomes a value, the farmer won't actually switch it to like send it to the fire it in the farms. I have an experience like 2 years back when we were exhibiting Delhi for a climate conference. There was a young chap just walked into my stall. Just hardly 22 to 23. He said his dad is a farmer. So they used to burn this husk in the fields before that, like in the boilers before that. Now he started producing rice bran oil out of it. That chap is producing around 1,000 metric tons annually of rice bran oil. Now he just walked into me just to see the ash created out of the rice bran oil firing, like after the paddy straws being fired in the boiler, and he's utilizing this. He wanted to utilize this ash for some other purpose. He's sending that ash back to the farmers for the needs. Farmers doesn't need the whole ash like for the farm application, and the rest ash has been wasted. And he said, like, asked out of curiosity, asked what will be the quantity of the ash you have been it has been wasted. He said four dumps. So then I was being curious, 4 dumps, it will be like 4 trolleys or something like that. And I asked him, what is the size of your dump? It's 40 metric tons per day. He's wasting 40 metric tons. He has a waste ash from 40 metric tons per day. Research community can work on it. There is a lot of that is just one case, one single farmer in Punjab region. India has immense like agricultural fields across Andhra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Kerala has a bit less, but any other state it compares, it is contributing a lot to the agriculture. Guys wanted to work on anything related to nanotechnology, material engineering, material science, whether it's characterizations, collaborations, or anything, we are open. Our doors are open. You can just walk into us, you can reach out to us. We are on LinkedIn, we are on WhatsApp, Facebook, or Instagram. We are New York Cycle, and you can also reach out to me on LinkedIn. So my name is Akhil Raj Patekar. I'm on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn profile, or you can even scan this QR and reach out to the WhatsApp, which is our official WhatsApp of our startup. For any kind of like, if you're a student, you have an idea in mind. It might be the scratch basic idea. You can reach out to us. We are here to support you. We have a community space here where we nurture the startups, students, and to become entrepreneurs. We are not an incubator, but we don't fund or anything. For that, you have to reach to the incubators for those kind of supports. If you want any kind of a research support or kind of a testing or anything like that, where we can contribute, we are more than happy to support because we work on a broader goal of climate action.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for sharing such valuable information with us. So you gave us a new perspective on how pollution itself can become a solution through innovative approaches. And the example of the New York's eco cycle was especially insightful in showing how entrepreneurial ideas can address environmental challenges while creating sustainable opportunities. We truly appreciate your time and inspiring message. Thank you, sir. So the participants, if you have any question regarding this session, you can keep in chat box and also you can raise your hands. So the questions will be taken up after the second speaker presentation. So to introduce our second speaker for the today's session, I would like to call our managing intern Maitri. Maitri?
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are audible. You can go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Maitri from Team Manecia. I'm glad to introduce today's speaker, Mahi Singh, co-founder of Cancri, a clean tech startup building innovative solutions for clean energy and climate action. With over 9 years of experience in marketing and business development, she brings a data-driven and practical approach to simplify complex sustainability challenges. She is also a Techstars alumna and an active member of platforms like India Energy Storage Alliance, PIE, and a woman in clean tech and sustainability. Mahi holds a master's degree in strategic studies from Nanyang Technology University, Singapore, and has pursued sustainable studies at Harvard University. Inspired by people, nature, and technology, she is passionate about creating accessible, impactful solutions that contribute to a cleaner, more inclusive future. It's an honor to have you here with us, ma'am. Over to you.
Hello.
You're in mute. Yes, ma'am. Now fine.
Okay. Thank you so much for such a great introduction, and really happy and excited to be here. I think I just heard in the introduction how many webinars that you guys conducted. I think it takes a lot of hard work, lot of teamwork. So kudos to you, to the team, and I'm again be here and share what we're working on. And I'll just get it started, and then probably later on, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to address. So I think Akhil had a very good presentation before me. So, and I'm just picking a few things from him. He mentioned that we can do a lot from agri waste in terms of different applications. So today at Cancri, we are presenting one of the applications that we've worked on. So I hope my screen is visible.
Kindly share it, ma'am. I made you as a presenter.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. For some reason, I'm unable to share the screen.
Shall we share, ma'am, from our
I
side?
think you guys
Oh,
have the present. Yeah.
yeah. My team kindly share ma'am's presentation. Arvind, are you sharing? Shall I make you as a presenter?
Yes, ma'am, you can make me presenter. I'm sharing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Arvind. While you're presenting, I'll just start off with the presentation. I'm one of the co-founders and COO at Cancri. We are a Jaipur-based startup, and what we essentially do is we transform agri-waste into advanced nanomaterial for battery application. Cancri is a planet which is trillion miles away, and it is made up of highest quality of carbon. So what we say is you don't have to go trillion miles away to get those material. You can actually get it on the planet Earth, and that's what Cancri stands for. So we are into advanced nanomaterial research and development, and now already commercialized our product. Next, please. So why we are doing what we are doing is because I think we all are hearing about the huge upsurge in battery demand, and that's mainly driven by the adoption of EVs and renewable energy. However, there is some intrinsic issues that these batteries faces. Next slide. And these are in terms of inefficient batteries. We have shorter battery life, slower charging. Then we have higher LCOS or dollar per kilowatt hour for the RE integration. Then the safety concerns are there, what we all hear about. There's explosions that we hear about. There are other mining issues that we're hearing about. And then there's a burden supply chain. So to give you some context, we require 7 times more critical material only for EV adoption alone. That means a lot of mining and digging the earth would require. At the same time, we are also hearing a lot about the unstable geopolitical situation, which leads to a burdened supply chain in the form of how we are getting this material from one place to another. And that is exactly where Cancri comes in. Next. So what we do is we take lignocellulosic waste that is essentially found in things like agri waste, paper waste, municipal sewage sludge, and a lot of different waste resources. So we take that waste And this waste goes through a patent granted process where we make these advanced nanocarbons. This is basically a black colored powder. And this material goes in the batteries, in the electrodes of the batteries, through a very simple drop-in solution, and increases the energy efficiency and the life cycle of the batteries. So that's all we do. So we take waste and then through our process, we convert it into electrode material. Next. So we have made more than 250 different carbon prototypes. This has been after years of R&D that has gone through it, and based on that, at a molecular level, we have optimized for pore size, volume, surface area, conductivity, functionality. Now, all these are molecular characteristics, and they have been optimized in the form where they can support increase in performance across multiple battery technologies. So we are working across different battery domains. We've already commercialized for lead acid batteries. We have industrial trial ongoing for lithium-ion batteries. We have POCs for sodium-ion, supercapacitors, redox flow, and there's work going on for zinc gel batteries and fuel cell. Hence, Cancri comes in as a sustainable battery solution where we are already serving the legacy market. We are serving the legacy market. We are ready for the advanced cell chemistry and also working on the future of the battery market. Next. So why our customers like us or buy our material is because of 4 important pillars that we deliver. Number 1 is the energy density. We are increasing the energy density using our potent material. We are increasing the life cycle of the battery. Secondly, safety. If you remember, I briefly talked about the safety issues that these batteries are facing. So essentially what we are doing at a molecular level, we are ensuring there's the lower internal resistance. And because of that, there's no rise in temperature within the battery itself. So very stable voltage profile as well as temperature profile is something that we are able to deliver by using Cancri in the batteries. Number 3, very importantly as a company, what we stand for is sustainability. We are actually replacing the critical material and the toxic material that goes in the batteries with our material, making it sustainable. And we are working on a goal to achieve 4 gigaton CO2 equivalent emission reduction every year by 2050, and hopefully sooner by our plans of accelerating our adoption. And then the 4th point, which is very important for the customers, is the cost. So we are ensuring that by adding our material, they also get a lot of cost benefit in the form of savings on warranty returns as well as savings on the material that goes in the battery. At the same time, we have also proven to decrease the dollar per kilowatt hour, which is essentially our levelized cost of storage by 15%. I'll briefly also talk about it later in the presentation. Next, please. So here is a very quick overview of what exactly happens at a molecular level. So some of you may understand this, that this is an FESEM. So this is under a microscope. It's FESEM imaging that has happened. So what we had done was at a high resolution, what we've seen is that Cancri on your left, you will see conventional plates, which has more bulb-like structure. On the right, there's more crystalline structure. So more crystalline structure means there is better flow of the electrolyte, as well as there's more better distribution of the active mix in the plates, in the electrode plates. That means improved electrochemical reactions that happens. So this is something that we've already proven in the market as well, at a molecular level as well, where we have increased the electrochemical reactions. At the same time, if you'll see on top, on the left, you'll see a broken plate. On the right, you'll see more sturdy plate. So what we've gotten with Cancri is 400% extra strength. Just by adding Cancri, we're getting 400% extra integrity within the battery plates. Now, our solution is not only simple to adopt, it's very easy to scale, and very importantly, it's highly sustainable. And this is all the magic that is coming from the source of waste. So we are taking waste and ensuring that it goes to very high in the supply cycle of the batteries, which requires one of the purest and high performing material. And I'll give you why it needs to be really high performing is because one of the limitations of a battery is its size and weight. You can only do this much of size and this much of weight. So each material at a molecular level has to perform really well. And that is exactly what we've proven through Cancri, where even a smallest molecule is able to perform or give a very high ROI. So it's sustainable at its core as well. Next, please. Now, this was, we have done a couple of demonstrations. This is one of the demonstrations that we've done in association with United Nations and Bureau of Energy Efficiency, which is under Ministry of Power, where we had installed batteries with Cancri for solar. This is in Pune's Child Care Institute. And from what I spoke earlier about reduction in dollar per kilowatt hour, we had proven this on field where we reduced the dollar per kilowatt hour by 15%, ensuring that there's more accessibility and it's more economical to get the RE integration done along with energy storage, because now energy storage has become a very important component for all of the installations of the solar. Next. And this is another one that we have done for e-rickshaw application, where we had Cancri enhanced batteries. And now typically you would get e-rickshaw, which is, which is running for around 85 kilometers or so. We have proven that it is actually going as high as 125 kilometers, a huge jump. And this directly results in more revenue for these e-rickshaw drivers. So again, you can see the magic of a small quantity of material that is going inside and increasing the performance substantially. Also, at the same time, because there is lower internal resistance and other electrochemical reactions and the strength of the battery plates, now these batteries are also running for a longer period of time. So we have already shown that the batteries run at least for 25% extra cycles. Again, that translates to cheaper energy. That means reduction in dollar per kilowatt hour, as well as more revenue or more output out of each battery. At the same time, it also means now we require lesser number of batteries to meet those energy requirements. That directly translates to lesser electronic waste. So a very holistic approach is something that we are able to obtain just by simply adding one sustainable material in the battery. Next. So this is very quick glimpse of that. Around more than 150 megawatt hour worth of batteries are in the market, and it's serving for both motive and stationary application across different parts of India and some parts internationally as well. Next. Now from the legacy, so this is what we talked about is our commercialized product already in the market for a couple of years already. Now this is the advanced cell chemistry of lithium ion. Now the great thing about this product is that the entire cathode is made up of Cancri. We have replaced the critical material, which is essentially our LFPs and NMCs, with Cancri sustainable material. And we're making these lithium ion batteries greener, safer, and faster by a simple inclusion of Cancri in the cathode. Next. And this is another collaboration we have done with United Nations, where we are now testing these batteries in the drone application, indigenously made in India. We've made 18650 cells using Cancri, and then now we're working on flying a drone with it. This is one of the prototypes. This is something that we're working with one of the IITs here in India. Next. Now, why this is beneficial for EVs, and I think this is, I'm just going to take like a little snippet from Akhil, where he mentioned that EVs alone are not going to solve the problem. And the thing is that we have to also ensure that we make the entire supply chain sustainable. And one of the things that we are doing is this cathode is something that we're making sustainable by replacing it with Cancri's cathode. And at the same time, we're also increasing the performance. How we are doing that is we're making the battery charge faster. We're ensuring peak power acceleration is higher. We are aiding smarter regenerative braking, and we're making it greener and safer. Greener by replacing the material with ours, and safer because of our material, we are able to reduce the internal resistance that minimizes the thermal runaway risk, which is the major concern or major issue why these batteries explode. Next. And to make this possible is this amazing team. And we have around more than 120 years of combined experience in business, batteries, materials, and market. I'm one of the co-founders. Innovator of this technology is Akshay. He's done his PhD from NUS in chemical and biomolecular engineering, has done patents and publications on this. In 2020, Akshay and I joined hands and created Cancri, where we are upcycling, where we are able to upcycle millions of tons of waste into advanced nanomaterial, and at the same time also supporting the ecosystem of waste. Yeah, next. Yeah, and these are some of the we've been very lucky. So this is a very, I think this is something, this slide I want to add on for the aspiring entrepreneurs or somebody who's trying to raise funds and all that. This is going to be a tough journey, especially for a clean tech company. But there are a lot of different players in the form of grants and paid pilots and eventually investors who are going to support you. In our case, we've been lucky to have some of the amazing collaborators. It took us some time. It was not an easy journey, but we were lucky to have some leading partnerships, including United Nations, New York Energy State Department, Scale for Climate Tech, Techstars, HDFC, SIDBI, Act for Environment, IMA Ventures, Cummins, Foundation Partner, Sagana, Ahmedabad Ventures, and you can see we've also, a lot of it has been through grants where we have applied for various grants, partnered with different academias to create an end, because we are a materials company. A lot of it requires to be collaboration. So I think one thing that we all should be seeking is more collaborations, and that really ensures that your work is moving forward, because you can only do one aspect of it. For example, for us, we are a material specialist. So we partnered with people who are either OEMs or who have exposure to making batteries. And that's how we've collaborated and created a good end product. One of the examples is with Royal Academy of Engineering, where we got this funding from UK, and we partnered with IIT as well as IIT Kanpur and Newcastle University, UK and Singapore, to create a prototype for lithium-ion. I think that these partners are very crucial to identify and also support your cause. Next. With that, I invite you all for any questions that you have. And again, very big thank you to the managed CIA team for inviting me and sharing what we're building at Cancri. So do join us in making energy transition and greener and quicker. And we are constantly looking for collaborators, as I've already mentioned, and people who would like to join our company. We are based in Jaipur. Any questions, we're happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing the inspiring journey of Cancri. Your insights on the problems with the existing batteries and how Cancri is working to convert lignocellulosic waste into energy storage solution using the advanced nanocarbons and Cancri technology were truly eye-opening. It was fascinating to learn how your work is shaping the future of battery markets and contributing to the sustainable innovation. So thank you, ma'am. So participants, if you have any questions, you can keep in chat box, and also you can raise your hands. So the questions will be taken up now. Meanwhile, I'll take up the few questions in chat box. So someone has raised the hand. Sanjog has raised the hand. I'll unmute him. Hello,
Yeah,
Sanjog.
yeah. Hi, Mahi. Great effort, man. I mean, a good product. Of course, a lot of effort in research and research has gone through it. I can see basically. Uh, 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 from a startup perspective, I just want you to throw light on how you're managing the backward linkages, because like you are making a powder of I mean, the agriculture waste, and I mean, I think it's lithium-ion thing what you have already in the market. So I agree basically on the forward linkages you are tying up with the OEMs and all that stuff. But on the backward linkages, it's a huge thing, like procuring those material and getting into the place where So I just want you to throw some light on our backward linkages, particularly from a startup perspective, because when we really think of scaling the things, then that becomes a huge, a challenge. So if you can please throw light on it.
Sure. I think very good question, Sanjog. Thanks for this question. I think this is very important as well. And it hasn't been easy. So I'll tell you a very brief journey of how we've gotten that. So it took us some time to really scale up. And why? Because when we were doing at lab, we would get very high quality of material, and we were not really thinking about pricing, costing at all that time. We were just thinking to ensure that we get the high quality. But when we talk about scale up, we need to get the same quality of product, and we have to ensure that we get the high quality output as well. So it took us some time to identify a couple of vendors. So what we started doing was, at a smaller level, we started, we already first of all factored in the fact that at a smaller level, even the industrial grade, so we are using things like, definitely agri waste is one of them. Then we have certain catalysts that we use in the process, and there are other things. So all these raw material is something that we started off very early on. We started using industrial scale products already, and we did a thorough testing to ensure we have at least 3 or 4 vendors in the pipeline. And then that's kind of was a point where we also got it wrong multiple times. Like the vendor, they would say that this is the purity level, or this is how it is, but it wouldn't turn out like that. So I would suggest, for the backward linkage, which is also super important, is to get a lot of vendors in the pipeline and reaching out to your connect. We reached out to a lot of our connects as well to ensure giving us as many quotations as possible, as many linkages as possible. So we are currently using coconut as the waste. That is at present. And we have a couple of vendors already. We have tested it. So we do something called proximate analysis for each of the vendors. So we've done that thoroughly with them. But even then, we ensure that whenever there's new opportunity of tie-ups, we go there and then do that, because we know that these these kind of relationships needs to be diversified, so that even for scale, you have couple of vendors, as well as if something is not right, if their supply chain get disrupted, you should not be affected. And we do feel some sort of issues in the lithium. That is still something that we are figuring out for the lithium supply chain, because a lot of it is imported. Like, we don't have those things in India, but there is still some component for the lithium cells that we've made 18650 cells, but some of the component are still something that we need to import from other parts of the world.
Okay.
But yeah, my one line is diversification has been really helpful in our case.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Sanjo. Oh, then I'll unmute Gautam Dandekar. Gautam?
Yeah. Hi. I saw the presentation. Sounds very, very interesting, very promising technology. My query is, are you having any retrofit solutions for the existing battery banks which have been put up?
So this is thanks, Gautam. So this is more of it's not a retrofit, but because this is a material, what we essentially do is we put it in the battery. So we are working with the battery manufacturers, and then they put this material inside of the batteries, and then the batteries goes in the EVs or in the e-rickshaws or in the solar, whatever, wherever they have to go.
Okay. So as a consumer, I cannot use your product directly.
So you can use Cancri powered battery if you'd like to test. Definitely, we have partners. We have partner battery manufacturers. So if you have, for example, I'll share another demonstration that's not in the in this slide. So what we've done is we've partnered with another startup, and this startup is essentially in solar cooling, solar cooking, doing very good work called Sibos. So what we've done is we have supplied them a couple of batteries with Cancri inside of it for off-grid induction cooking. And So what we do is we have our battery partner, and then we have these end user partners. So we can definitely provide, if you have any specific needs, we can definitely work with you and provide you with those specific batteries.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be interested to know more. Can
Sure.
you leave your contact details in the chat, please?
Yes, Gautam, we will be sharing the speaker's contact details, both the speaker contact details.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, participants, if you have any questions, you can keep in chat box, and also you can raise your hands. Both the speakers are available. Think there are no more questions. Browser is asking, how do you find funds? I don't know whether this question is to ma'am or sir. So yeah, meanwhile, one person has raised the hand. Gautam Mohan is there. I'll unmute him.
Hi, good afternoon. I would like to know about some detail about the EV related things, how this product can be used with any new product. If we are trying to make should we need to use the existing lithium-ion battery and along with this material, or how we should use I'm looking for some, lithium-ion batteries for IoT design application. So
So the material itself is actually application agnostic. Essentially, because this goes in the electrode plate. So because it goes in the electrode plates, you can actually use these cells for either for EV application, IoT application, medical devices, or so on. So the final form factor really depends on where you want to use it. So you are saying IoT, I reckon, and this is my limited knowledge. Essentially, when we talk about IoTs, it's either a coin cell or an 18650 that goes for the IoTs because they have smaller spaces. So what essentially we then do is we have our material, we get the cell made, and then we give it to our collaborator who can test it out. So you can't really directly use the material, but you can use the batteries made using this material.
okay.
Again,
Yeah,
happy
sure.
to collaborate
We'll
if you
go
have any
through.
specific requirement.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
Yeah. Probably we'll go through your website and the things,
Yeah.
and we'll get back to you. Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Gautam. So Manish Sharma.
Hi, ma'am. So it was wonderful session. So I have one query, just light on how to raise fund from the UN IDO you mentioned and New York State of Opportunity, and what are the foreign grants available, and what are the channels to follow to raise these grants and funds? Just quick light on this.
Sure. I think first of all, you have to embrace yourself that this is not going to be an easy journey. I think, and it is never an easy journey. And essentially, start with a very clear value prop, like what your product is bringing in. And I think I've heard it from a lot of people, even the ones who had rejected us, also helped us in identifying or shaping up our story. So definitely, whenever you're going for any pitching or any kind of sessions, be open about accepting the feedback because they've also helped us shaping our storyline, and I'm pretty sure that they would help you as well. That is number one, embracing that rejection. Number two is the fact that you have to fine tune based on whatever the problem is. Like focus more on the problem statement and then bring in the solutions. What that essentially does is that ensures that there's a real problem that you're solving and not just selling the solution. So that really strengthens the story. Number three is create a pipeline. So what we've done is we have created a thorough pipeline, and all of the partners that you're seeing are just some of the partners who've converted, but we have applied to like a lot of them. So we applied to like I think thousands and thousands of applications, and then these are some of the ones that got converted, but they helped us in our journey eventually. So you really you don't need all of them. You need some of them, but you have to ensure that you are applying to a lot of them. Wherein, because what exactly happens, it does not, if your application gets rejected or if it's not moving forward, that does not just mean that the product is not good. It also means that the timing is not good, or the way you've presented not good, or just that it just dropped off from the application process. So I think one thing is you have to be really patient with this concept. That's another very important thing. I think that's number three. Then what you do is specific to what you're working on. There are now we are very lucky to have a lot of diverse applications out there. So imagine, I don't know what you're working on, but just let's take an example of how it worked for us. So what we did was we looked up for things specific to waste to energy. So there were like specific grants which was waste to energy. We applied there, and then once we got that grant, we got certain POC in hand. Like we got this something to showcase, some tangible thing to showcase, and then when you show that, you have things to build on it. So then you can apply for more. So then there was this early POC level of grant that you would apply. You will create a POC, and then you can take that POC level to other different grants. So that's how you kind of build onto it. So it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to take a lot of time, but be patient and apply to all relevant funding opportunities that you have. The other thing that really worked on, whoever were our early grantors, including United Nations Act for Environment and so on, and even Department of Science and Technology and IKP. So we have like a lot of great collaborators, and what they've done is they have introduced us, or they've become an advocate of our company. So also ensure to keep them updated, whoever is in your pipeline, right? Keep them posted, keep them updated, include them in your journey. So they also know what you're building on, and then they can talk about it whenever they see that this is a relevant space. Even I think if you are connected with Manage, CIA, keep them posted about whatever you're making. I think they have created like a great ecosystem. What they can do is whenever there's a click, they will immediately say, hey, I know this startup and this is what they're working on this. Why don't you think about collaborating with something? So I think this kind of networking really helps. In terms of international funding, again, I think there's a lot of funding opportunity that has opened up, specifically in the UK, in the US. If you'll go to the Startup India website or just Google about different collaborations, so there's always a consistent Singapore India collaboration, there's Sweden England, Sweden India collaboration, UK India collaboration. So they create these collaborative work where you can apply there. So that is one way of entering into international grants. Then we have Earthshot Prize when you are into it. There are a lot of fellowships like Breakthrough, there's Activate, there's LACI, a lot of incubation. We got through Techstars Incubation, which is a US-based acceleration program. So so you find the relevant funding partner for your domain, and then just go for it and just build on it.
And how you start your pitch? Like you said the story. A story you start like directly a problem statement or a story with a problem statement.
So another thing I'd like to talk about pitch is you may not get it right at the first time. We did not get it right at the first time. It also took us a lot of practice and a lot of feedback. So I would suggest you start with with a mentor, and then they will tell us, and you define your own pitch the way that you want to, because you have the story with you. So how you want to present it would make sense. But ideally, what people have suggested us is start with problem. That's what I had done to well, wherein I had started with a context setting of what the problem is, which is essentially battery problem. So we all knew in the webinar that okay, we are going to talk about batteries. This is a problem that we're solving. So ideally, like you can start with batteries. Start with your problems, what the problem exists, the scale of the problem, and then you talk about how you are solving that problem.
Let me contribute. Like ideally, you start early, like rather than wait for something. Find a team. Start early as possible. Like there is a long way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we are running behind the time. It's already it's time to conclude the session. So thank you participants for all your questions. So due to time constraint, I'm unable to take questions from all of you. However, please don't worry. You can still reach out to the speakers directly. Their contact details are shared in the chat box. And if you miss any part of today's webinar, and if you would like to revisit some of the key insights, the YouTube link to watch the full session is given in the chat box. And to stay updated on the upcoming events and programs and exciting opportunities from Manage, be sure to follow us on our social media. And along with this, we have opened applications for the 9th batch of Manacia pre-incubation mentoring program. So the registration link is given in the chat box, and the last date for the application is 20th September. And along with this, I have something to update. We have launched the new incubation center, that is Managed Fisheries in Startup Innovation Hub. So it is dedicated exclusively to the fostering innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable solutions in the fisheries sectors. As part of this, we have opened applications for the Manage Aqua Eureka, a national level aqua innovation challenge. Applications open to support the budding entrepreneurs to present their innovative idea. So the registration link is given in the chat box, and the last date for the application is 15 November. So you can apply for it. And before concluding the session, I would like to thank both the speaker Akhil sir and Mahi ma'am for sharing your valuable insight today. Your journey is really inspirational. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And also, I would like to thank our director, Dr. Sarunandra sir, for making this 257-week webinar journey a success. But also my thanks go to entire Manacia team for organizing this webinar. Finally, don't forget to share your feedback of this webinar. The feedback link is given in the chat box, and also do register for the upcoming webinar. So see you next week with another exciting topic. Thank you all. Thank you, Akhil sir and Mahi ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mahi Singh madam and Akhil Raj, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all participants.